Today we're going to continue our video series on pre-bought medical rolls and other kits. Right here we have the 12 Survivors Medic Roll. It is available on Amazon for about $36. And the big thing I want to talk about is a lot of people seem to use when it comes to medical rolls, it's either a really expensive one or the Blackhawk. I personally hate the Blackhawk one. For me, my hands are medium to medium large. They're not big by any means, but I cannot get my hands into the little see-through plastic pockets on the Blackhawk. And so I just don't like it for that alone. Plus the Blackhawk is like $41 last I checked, and both comparable, the 12 Survivors and the Blackhawk, in terms of the quality of the materials, in my opinion anyway. I'm not sure the exact denier on this one, it doesn't say, but it doesn't seem like it'll have any sort of real problems. They're about the same in size. The Blackhawk is, I think, 13.5 by 37. This guy is 15 by 35, so they're very similar. The pockets are bigger, and there's only 12 of them here, 2 large and then 10 small, compared to the Blackhawks, which has a total of 15 pockets. But they're very comparable other than that. And just to show you kind of the materials, it has this patch here. It is Velcro, so you can rip it off and put whatever you want there, so that's a nice little addition. The back has some MOLLE padding if you want to attach it to the back of like an assault bag, or I guess put it on your own plate carrier or whatever you want. It's there if you want it. It also just has plain Velcro loops if you want to run it through a belt. It's up to you. But to actually open it up, there is 2 little clips, which they have little Velcro keepers, so you can make it, if you put a lot more shit in here, you can make it expand, or you can shrink it down if you have less. So you take those off, and there's a big Velcro patch, and it opens up to this. Then you can see on the inside, it is completely like a see-through mesh, so you can see what's in every little thing. Each one is accessed by fairly high-quality zippers. They're not YKK or anything. It's actually called SBS, but I haven't had any issues with it like binding or catching on anything. I guess it has these little Velcro patches that kind of show you what's in each one. It's pretty much useless because if you're going to buy this kit, you're going to upgrade it and change it up for your own stuff anyway. So really you're just going to go to like a Michael's or some other craft store and get your own Velcro tape and write what's actually in there. Or you can remove the panel entirely. But just little patches like that, put them on, take it off. So there's, like I said, there's 10 small ones in the middle, and then there's 2 big ones on each side. Let's go through the contents real quick. Over here they have some little stretch gauzes. I think it has different sizes, 4 different sizes. It has 3. It has 5 centimeter by 4.5 meters. It has 4 of those. Then it has 2 7.5 centimeters by 4.5 meters. And then finally you got 2 10 centimeters by 4.5 meters. Then your next one, you got a non-woven pad. 2 of them. Then down below, you have some couple wet cleaning wipes and some alcohol prep pads. Next guy over, you got a little triangle bandage. Then you have a little bit of medical tape, some cheapy little tweezers, 1 pair of, I'm assuming latex, but I'm not really sure the exact material of these gloves. They might be nitrile. And then a small latex bandage or tourniquet. Next one, you got a single emergency square blanket. Then you have one of those cheapy tourniquets, the ones that seem to be really popular now in these little medical kits. They work fairly well. They're the little stretchy material. You put it around whatever limb you want, and then you just keep pulling this little loose tab until you cut off the circulation, and then if you need to take it off eventually for some reason, you push the little button, pops right off. Nothing fancy, but nothing compared to a CAT or SWAT T, but I think it's better than the latex bandage or tourniquet. The next area, you have a few Band-Aids, kind of a joke, and then one of these guys, which is a CPR mask, one of the little tiny ones. I suppose I should bring into the fact that one of the reasons I do this medical stuff is I'm a rescue diver, so I have a fancy CPR mask, but if you don't, this might be just enough for you to at least keep the vomit out of your mouth. The next area has 2 pairs of scissors, one little cheapy, I don't even understand what you'd want with this other than maybe to cut tape, little tiny shears. And then you got actual mini-sized emergency shears, super cheap, but they might get the job done. I'd recommend upgrading these to titanium. Next one, we got some antiseptic wipes, 2 of them, or 4 of them total. And then you got an emergency poncho, because why not? And then this last one is actually kind of impressive. I opened it up because I wanted to actually see what it was. Because they call it an emergency dressing, but it's like a super generic emergency dressing. It is an Israeli bandage. It doesn't have any sterility dates or expiration dates or anything, but it's constructed the same. It's got your, your main pad, your absorption pad, gauze, and it's got your hook and everything you really need in the Israeli bandage, but it's like a generic version of it. I've never really seen a generic before. It's definitely not sterile anymore now that I opened it, but I mean, it'll get the job done hopefully, and it's included, so why not? This is probably the coolest piece of kit in this thing. To actually talk about the quality of this kit, like I said, I like it more than the Blackhawk. The Blackhawk is $40, $41. This is $36, so just this alone, to me, is more worth it. I will use this more than I'll use a Blackhawk. I like how it works, and I like how I can get my hands in it nice and easy, and I can see everything. But if you take it just on this alone, you're paying less for, in my opinion, a better medic roll. And you can take all this stuff, and yeah, you can say it's cheap, kind of piece of crap first aid stuff. But basically, in my opinion, they threw this in for free. I would pay $36 just for this medic roll and all this stuff. This is kind of nice, but everything else I don't really care about. But it's thrown in for free. If you don't have any of this stuff, it might be useful to you. And that's kind of what I'm looking at here. I'm thinking this medic roll is nice. It's better than a Blackhawk in my personal opinion, and it is cheaper, especially when you include all this stuff that they throw in for free. It would be nice if they could take away all this stuff, because I don't know, this would probably cost them something like $10 and then charge like $20, $25 for this thing, because then this thing should be in everyone's like backpack or truck or car. You can do so much more work with a roll like this than you can a Blackhawk, especially for almost half the price. I mean, both the Blackhawk and this one will do about the same amount of work, except for your hands can get in easier. I like that I can see through a little better. I hate that plastic. And they're about the same size for less money, so why would you pick a Blackhawk, in my opinion? So I brought up the fact I am a rescue diver, which is what really defines my opinion on medic rolls. I used to use a dump bag, just like everyone else, kind of your general medic bag. And what I found is when something's really going wrong really quickly, you just generally dump the bag, all the contents, onto the ground, which is all well and good. It'll get dirty and stuff in a general, woods environment or on the street. But when you're on a moving boat or something like that, like I am typically on when I'm having to deal with emergency situations, dumping everything on there and getting it all soaking wet with salt water or whatever fish blood or guts are on there because you just went fishing, that can be a serious problem. So one of the first things I decided is dump bags aren't going to work for me. Let's try medic rolls. The first thing you see when you look up a medic roll on YouTube is Nut and Fancy's Blackhawk roll. It looks like it should work. He likes it a lot. Pick that up. Like I said, I hated it. My hands are definitely not big. They could not fit in those little gaps. It was like I'd always have to do a little 2-finger squeeze pincher thing to get anything out. And when someone's bleeding because they just got bit by like a moray or something, you really don't want to be like struggling. It's like, let me get that bandage, man. You want to be able to just unzip it, grab it, put it on. Be a lot quicker that way. And so I looked around, and you could either get that, I don't even know how much that is. It's like $200 for that really fancy one, or you're talking $36 for one that does everything I want it to do. And it's $36 for a medic roll that actually works compared to the Blackhawk one, which in some circumstances, if you're not going to use it a lot, should work fine for I think a lot of people. But this is cheaper and it does a better job.